Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo, and welcome to my channel, because that channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. I have a pen review. Finally, we get something from Majohn. Small, but interesting offering. Sometimes people say good things come in small packages. Perhaps this is one of them. I have a Majohn pen, a new pen. It's a pocket pen. And Majohn's called it the RS3. Don't know why, but let's try to take a look at it and figure it out. So without any further ado, Fountain Pen Therapy presents the Majohn RS3, the Starry Sky Blue version. Okay, so we're back with the pen. Here's the kind of a metal case that it comes in. Very nice. Yeah, I think most of their pocket pens, if I'm not mistaken, come in this kind of packaging. Very nice. Metal, and then nicely fits in here. Got a little manual, gives you instructions on how to fill it and wash it, etc. I think we've seen that before. You can skip that and just put the box aside. Here's the pen. It's galaxy blue, folks. I don't know why they call it starry. I guess it's starry or starry sky blue. First thing you notice when you put it in your hands, it's extremely light. Very, very light. There's no weight to this pen at all. But there is some chatoyancy in that resin. Quite a bit, in fact. Typical, in my view. Galaxy blue color. Kind of over the top, sort of a clip. Does it open by pushing it? No, it doesn't. Is it springy? Yeah, it's you can lift it. It's not bad. It's not bad. Kind of a flat bottom finial, and just a little point there at the top finial. Nicely integrated, very smooth. Not very complex, guys. It's pretty simple. I think the most interesting part will be to compare it to others and how it writes. So that's 1, 1.5, 1 3/4, 2. So it's about 2. It reveals, I have a Moonman fine nib there in the gold. Little small, I mean, you can get away with it. It's a pocket pen after all. No big deal. I don't know if I do long sessions writing this way, but you certainly can get away with it. It does post. In fact, it screws in. And not bad. It lines up pretty nicely. And then it becomes a decent size. Even then, it's a little small. Nice nib section here, or the section here is very, very comfortable. Just a little bit of a flare. Nothing fancy. You don't get any threads in the way. You can hold it up a little lower, a little higher. I wouldn't recommend, but a little lower, and it's fine. So it's a pocket pen. Nice little pocket pen, nice and light. What's in here, I got a feeling that there's not much. I don't even see a ledge in there, but I see something right at the end. But that's more, I think, to hold up the clip than anything else. I don't see much of a step down. We'll see if this pen has a dry nib issue. It is a cartridge converter, and a nice converter at that. with a little O-ring right there to keep it nice and tight. So there you go. That's it, folks. Not much there to it. Nice little pen. Let's do some comparisons. Be right back. Okay, we're back. Do some comparisons here. I cannot find my pointer. I wonder what I did with it. I'm sure it's somewhere, but in any event. Here is the subject pen. This is a Jinao 82 Mini, almost the same size. Here's probably my favorite pocket pen, Hongdian M2 in titanium. This is the Gravitas Pocket Dropper, I think they call it. This is an Opus 88 Mini, which is the biggest one of them all. And this, of course, is your classic Kaweco brass. So you could see it's pretty well equal to all the pens except the Opus 88 is much bigger. So those are the pens capped. Here are the pens uncapped and unposted, and I did find my pointer. You'll notice that the first thing to notice is that the Majohn and the Gravitas are both number 6 size nibs. The rest are number 5 nibs. So you can see that the Majohn with that nib is almost as long as the Opus 88. There you have it. And it's about equal to both the Kaweco and the M2. They're essentially the same size here. We're talking about a pocket pen, right? Okay, so those are the pens capped, uncapped, and unposted. Here are the pens posted. Now, the Opus 88 doesn't post. I really like these two because they become almost regular-sized pens once posted. On the other hand, if you want a small, along with the Kaweco as well, is pretty big. If you want a real pocket pen, pocket size, well, you've got it in the Majohn along with the Jinao 82 Mini. So there you have the pens posted. We'll look at some measurements and then we'll see how that pen writes. Be right back. Okay, so we're back with the writing sample. First of all, the ink that I chose is Hongdian Sky Blue. Figure, why not? Same name as the pen. There it is, Sky Blue. It's a nice blue. The paper is Crenna. So Crenna is becoming one of my favorites. So this is the Majohn Rs3 in the Starry Sky Blue. We'll put a date, roughly June. I don't know when this will be published, but I'm doing this in June 2026. Let's start with the nib. Whoa, what happened there? Nib is a Moonman number 6 steel fine nib, and a fine nib it is. So far so good. Ink, the ink is the Hongdian Sky Blue. Pen is very comfortable. Notice that the clip is a little flimsy. You know, it moves. But it's not the most solid looking pen. But, you know, it's a pocket pen. Now, the smoothness. Very smooth. Very little. Whoa, my phone's ringing. Sorry about that. My wife was calling. We never have the wife wait, right? Never, never. Very smooth. I was about to say just a hint of feedback. The wetness, Well, I can tell you folks that it's very wet for a fine. This is the way I like my fine nibs. You know, a nice, juicy, thick line. Mind you, this ink helps. A great ink, just a great ink. I got to get more bottles before they decide to discontinue it if it's not already the case. So wetness, very wet. What about bounce? No, very stiff. So forget about bounce. There is none. Flow is it constant? Fast writing. Ten on 10. No problem with flow here. No problem. The nib is just perfect. Fast reverse writing. I don't know why I keep doing this. Yeah. Very, very soft and fine. You get an extra fine and it works. Likes and dislikes. I notice that the pen kind of moves around here. You know, it just shows you it's not the most solid pen. So we can start with that. A little fragile, I find. Fragile and light. Just don't get the sense that you're holding, you know, a pen of substance. Not like the Dieman M2. Likes. Well, it's simple design. Nothing fancy. I like the resin. The nib is excellent. Value, you be the judge. It's selling, or at least I paid it, roughly 38 Canadian. So what is that? $28 US approximately. Sorry about that. Is it a go-to pen? I don't know. I give it 7.5 on 10 just because, you put this in your pocket or in your bag and you might crack this thing. It's very fragile, I find. I think it's more of a, it's not like the Kaweco brass or the Ultim from Gravitas or any of the other pens. That Opus 88 is pretty fragile as well. In fact, it's got like a little piston and it kind of broke on me to glue it back. But the other pens are very solid. Even the Jinao, I think, is more solid than this. So fragile and light. I think it's overly priced at $38. So price, I think, is a dislike. But, that's all we're getting from Majohn. $40 pocket pen that's too light for my taste. My overall verdict? Well, here it is. I think you can skip it. I'm not sure you really need this thing in your collection. Frankly, I would not have ordered it had it not been for the fact that there's really nothing out there. So I wanted at least to, some of you mentioned this, so I said, you know what, we'll review it for the channel. But I'm not sure that, what I do like is the way it writes though. So, if you want a cheap pocket pen, throw in your bag, be careful. But, put in a pen case along with your notebook. You're on the go. I mean, you could put this in your pocket. I'm not sure that, but just don't sit on it, because if you do, you run the risk of it cracking on you. It is a nice Chatoyan, Blue Galaxy sort of a resin, but I don't know. I wouldn't spend the $38. That's where I'm at. That's my honest opinion. So there you have it. The Majohn Rs3. I've ordered the RS2. And maybe the best one of them all in this gang is probably the RS1 that I don't own. And that I think I'm going to get. And that maybe I should have, had delivered before this one. But that RS1 really looks like I think it's titanium. And it looks a little bit like the Coeco. So maybe we'll order that one. And it will soon take the place of this. Just from the photos, I would say get that one and don't get this. But the other one is much more expensive. I think even too expensive. But having said that, I'll let you be the judge of that. Take care, folks. Please subscribe. Enjoy your pens. Enjoy your paper. Enjoy your inks. Fountain pen therapy for all of us. Majohn Rs3.